figured I was trying to hit with everything I had.
Marvin Hagler has knocked him out.
He always sort of felt denied, and he was going to make someone pay.
When he started getting dirty, then I started putting the punches together and meant to break his head.
The middleweight champion of the world is Marvin Hagler.
Here we are. We finally won the world title, and we had to run like burglars.
Marvelous Marvin Hagler waged a long war for recognition and respect in boxing, then walked away when it all went wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision.
He was going to take his dignity, he was going to take his life, and he was going to go.
He used to intimidate his opponent. They used to be afraid to just be going into the ring with him.
You got the muscles, the veins, the power. That's what he looked like. Power.
He's more of a pounding. Just think of a piston just constantly pounding. It's like a thud. It's like boom.
He had a chin of iron. He had the heart of a lion. He had the killer instinct in him. He hated his opponents.
That's his mentality, to be angry, so that when he's in that ring, he just wants to just squash you.
I never believed anyone could ever do what happened to me tonight. I got a couple of cuts, a black eye. I've never had those marks before in my life.
There was no wrapping on this package. You got what was there. War, destruct and destroy, everything about him focused. And this bullet head made the whole Marvin Hagler look like exactly what he should have been, an executioner.
Lee sags against the ropes. He's out of it. Marvin Hagler has knocked him out.
Marvelous Marvin Hagler ruled the middleweight division with an iron fist from 1980 to 1986. Behind a cultivated aura of intimidation, he was the real thing, gifted with speed, imagination, and versatility.
He fought mostly southpaw, but he would switch, and he was equally as good both ways.
The punch that you don't see, that's the punch that hurts you and knocks you out. And a lot of those punches from Hagler, you don't see them coming. They come from a different angle.
Somebody examined his skull once and pointed out that the muscle above the temples was almost like he had a football helmet inside, under the skin. So you couldn't hurt Marvin.
Impregnable though he was in the ring, Hagler was afflicted by one of the deepest of human hurts, alienation.
I think he always painted himself as the guy on the outside, and in a lot of ways the public thought he was. And I think it drove him.
He can't whoop Marvelous Marvin Hagler. That's it. Nobody can whoop me. I'm the best. They won't give me the credit, not even you.
I don't think the public understood how insecure this guy really was. I think the best clue of that is the fact that he had his name legally changed to Marvelous, because he felt like people never gave him his due.
Marvin, it's not always been marvelous.
You'd be forced to say it. You'd be forced to write it. But I think it also speaks to the issue of a sort of inner voice that was diminished, and a sort of lack of self-esteem, that, and a real feeling that he wasn't getting what he deserved.
Marvin Hagler's attitude that the boxing establishment was always against him, they wanted to win, it was mostly paranoid.
People loved him. Fans adored him. They admired him. Marvin was so insecure about that. For some reason, he was like a horse with blinders on. He didn't see that. But it was out there. It was always out there. He just never let it in.
A lot of Marvin's rage was born in the fact that he was disrespected his whole career. That served to motivate him.
Never was that disrespect more clearly demonstrated than on November 30th, 1979 at Caesar's Palace, where the 25-year-old Hagler was one of two fighters getting title shots. The other was the deft and charismatic Sugar Ray Leonard.
Marvin Hagler challenges Vito Antuofermo for the middleweight title, gets $40,000. Ray Leonard is also a challenger, and the same card gets paid $1 million. And if you're Marvin Hagler and you know how good you are, that's very hard to swallow.
He is really chewing up Antuofermo at this point.
Dominant through most of the early and middle rounds, Hagler, a 4-1 favorite, was believed by his corner to be well ahead when he dropped into a defensive mode as the champion rallied late in the 15-rounder.
Mills Lane, who was the referee in that fight, stood there in the center of the ring, and he said to Marvin Hagler, "Congratulations. Now when they make the announcement, you face this way, and I'll raise your arm."
The decision is a draw.
It's a draw.
Antuofermo is still.
Vito retains the title. Hagler absolutely disgusting.
When the decision was announced, it upset me so much that I went back behind the stands and threw up in a garbage can because we just didn't do right that night.
He never forgot that night that he won the title and didn't get it. To him, it was a confirmation of all the things that had happened to him all his life. He was never going to get a fair shake. Not in boxing, not anywhere.
You can't leave it up to the referee, and you can't leave it up to the judges. There's only one way to do it, is to do it my way.
With narcotic power in either hand, Hagler raged against his opponents, winning his next 14 bouts, 12 by knockout. In 1985, he met an equally lethal puncher, known as the Hitman, Tommy Hearns.
This man is coming. This man is coming at me, trying to do damage to me. I gotta get him out. And I was thinking, I was trying to hit him everything I had.
You asked yourself, how can they take him? Because they're throwing bombs. I mean, each punch, it's like it's loaded with dynamite.
When I hit Hagler with them punches, I felt the impact to go up my arm into my shoulder. So I knew I hit him hard, and he still was standing there. He was just still coming.
There were 165 punches in 180 seconds, and every one of them thrown with the intention to hurt the opponent.
This may be the most brutal even round you've ever seen in boxing.
Marvin Hagler had a cut above his eye, and then you had this Hearns, like this stunned look, like he didn't know what had hit him. That was the wildest first round in the history of mankind, caveman days or otherwise.
In the second and third rounds, Hagler stayed on the attack, absorbing punches and pressing forward, banging away with both hands. But he got as good as he gave.
Hearns was always considered one of the hardest punchers in boxing. He throws his vicious right hand and busts Hagler's head wide open.
So the doctor comes in and he blocks the blood and he says to Marvin, "Can you see, Marvin?" And Marvin says, "I ain't missing him, am I?"
Hagler immediately thought the same thing he always thought. They're going to screw me again. They're going to deny me again. This is my moment.
He'd been ripped off before. He wanted to end that fight as soon as he could. And when that blood started pouring down his face, you saw the real tiger in Marvin Hagler.
Tommy is very cocky, and I had something for him. This is what you call a sweet victory. This was raw.